Hey, what's going on, everyone? Gillis TV back here with some more Edmonton Oilers news. As we all know what happened yesterday, St. Louis Blues offer sheeting and ultimately getting the players to sign their offer sheets in Broberg and Holloway. Now we're getting some inside news of how this actually came about, how the Oilers let it happen in a sense, and all that. But before we get started, if you like anything about the Edmonton Oilers, or the NHL in general, we try and do every single team, of course, being an Oilers fan, more Oilers than anything. Make sure to hit that subscribe button as we are 147 away from our goal of 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. It's seen that number grow over the last year has been fantastic, and I appreciate it. Now let's get into it. Like I said, we all know what happened yesterday. Broberg signing his offer sheet, Holloway signing his offer sheet. Well, there's been some news kind of thrown around in a sense by insiders that Kenny Holland was actually supposed to sign these guys back in February when they were in the AHL. There are some numbers and stuff into this, but that was the main focus. He did not do that. I'm not too sure why he didn't do that. If maybe the players were waiting, who knows, but that's one part of how this happened to the Edmonton Oilers. It also comes down to numbers for Broberg. If he played 2 less games, I believe it was, 4 minutes less of ice time, he wouldn't have been qualified to be offer sheeted, but Kenny Holland did call him up, and that was the move the Edmonton Oilers did. So a lot of blame is to be put on Ken Holland here in a sense that upper people told Ken Holland to get this done, and he did not do that. Now, of course, you can put some blame on Jeff Jackson, but he had a fantastic offseason. We're not going to put much blame, except for maybe he focused too much on bringing in Stan Bowman or a GM in general, and should have probably got these players signed before. Now, of course, Elliot Friedman dropping the bomb today that Philip Broberg was going to take way less money to stay with the Edmonton Oilers. It is reported that he wanted about $1.8 million per year for 2 years, so AAV of $1.8 million, and somehow the Oilers didn't do that. I honestly don't know what happened here. When you have a guy like Broberg who has tons of potential and upside to him, he just had a fantastic round 3 and Stanley Cup Finals for you. He's played decent hockey for you over the course of the 81 games he got in, plus playoff games, and you don't go put $1.8 million for him. You knew Evander Kane more than likely was going on LTIR. Without trading Ceci, you had enough room almost to just get Holloway signed, get Broberg signed, and all you had to do was send one of Josh Brown, Troy Stetcher, or Derek Ryan to the minors. Salary cap figured out until Kane got off of LTIR. So with Philip Broberg, knowing these numbers, and that's Elliot Friedman dropping that 1.8 per year, how did it happen? How did Kenny Holland not answer the higher-ups? How did they not sign? Were they holding off until the offseason? The players could have been. That realistically could have been what it was. But why weren't these players in contract negotiations before these offer sheets happened? So like I said, I'm not taking much away from Jeff Jackson. He has turned this Edmonton Oilers team around. Of course, now Stan Bowman needs to try and deal with Leon Draisaitl, Evander Kane, Philip Broberg, Holloway, and I do believe the Oilers may match the offer sheets to Broberg and Holloway. Sorry. I did do a video yesterday on that. Go check that out on how the Oilers could do it. Just a quick rerun. Of course, Kane to the LTIR. Leaves you room to either trade Ceci or Brett Kulak. You can trade Brett Kulak if the market's there for Kulak. Now, that's the more third road I would go down if need be. I think Kulak would be the last option to actually even consider doing, but he could be an option there. Ceci, of course, number 1. Number 3, you run with no substitutions, no guys scratched. You run a 20-man roster until Kane gets back, and you got to deal with that. Now, if you could push Kane until the playoffs like the Vegas Golden Knights do all the time with Mark Stone, even better. You don't have to worry about trading Ceci and whatnot. Now, I know a lot of fans said, well, Broberg's 4.58 and some odd change, whatever, for the next 2 years. Yes, we got to remember, Jack Campbell gets a little bit more next year for his buyout, but James Neal comes off the books. Jeff Skinner comes off the books. Cody Ceci comes off the books, and so does Derek Ryan. For sure, those guys come off the books. We got Janmark for 3 years at a reasonable deal. He's not going to be going anywhere for the next 3 years the way he can penalty kill. So, with Broberg's number, you can make it work. Realistically, you can make it work. Now, it's just how the Edmonton Oilers are going to do that is the question. And I do think they will go for one matched offer. It's a lot easier doing one offer with Kane going to LTIR. But I do believe, too, that they aren't going to let these two walk for free. And another point of view is St. Louis did try to get them at the trade deadline. The Oilers were in talks with St. Louis for Pavel Buchnevich, possibly in return, and they were asking for Holloway and Broberg. So they did hint at, hey, we want these guys. If you're not going to give them to us now, we might offer sheet them. And that's sure what happened with the Edmonton Oilers, of course. The Oilers going the Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick route at the deadline over Buchnevich, which, didn't really cost as much, and Adam Henrique came back on a cheaper deal. So I would take that trade over the Buchnevich. Of course, nothing taken away from Pavel's Buchnevich, but Broberg and Holloway did come in key moments for us late in the season and the Stanley Cup and all the playoffs there. So that's kind of where we sit with Broberg is, how did this happen? How did the Edmonton Oilers let Broberg get offer sheeted $4.58 million and not sign him for the $1.8 he was asking for? I realistically don't know what happened here. Kenny Holland didn't do his job. I don't know if Jeff Jackson said, hey, we'll get you guys signed. We just got to figure this out. And the players couldn't wait anymore. Who knows? I know Broberg and Holloway played in the minors together, played in the NHL together. They probably talked about it too. If that be, I would go wherever I knew someone going too. So that's pretty much it for today. Just how did this happen? And it kind of sucks for us Oilers fans because we saw the upside in Holloway. We see the upside in Broberg, and now the Edmonton Oilers are in this situation, which I don't blame Jeff Jackson at all. Jeff Jackson did a really fantastic job bringing in Arvidsson, bringing in Jeff Skinner, bringing in, re-bringing in Adam Henrique for even cheaper than what he was offered somewhere else. He wants to win a cup. He feels like Edmonton's there. So I don't know if these players just, hey, we're signing these offers, you got a choice, or we're going to play somewhere else. And it sucks to see, but hey, we'll see what goes on. They got 6 more days to match. Of course, I'm on the road tomorrow, so I'll be back probably Friday with another video. Hopefully that's when the news comes out and not tomorrow when I'm traveling down to Calgary. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Gillis TV. Have a good one.